Okay. Well, alrighty, here we are again. Episode 20, the Pelican Jack podcast. I am Alex Ortiz here with the amazing, wonderful
Devin Watkins. It's, man, I think it's time to talk some shit and get lit.
Ooh, I think so as well.
Got glass of sound check. My good friend Alex right here brought over a bottle of this 10-year single malt Scotch whiskey, Airstone, and it's the sea cask. They also sell a land cask. It's the sea cask, and it's delicious. I'm enjoying it.
It is pretty good.
It's my second.
It was a nice
glass
sipping
here.
whiskey.
Yeah.
You would definitely lose a lot if you tried to put that in like a cocktail or something. You would waste its flavor that they developed for it.
For sure.
For sure. But alrighty, man. We're back.
Yeah,
We're up. Let me get
it.
a good posture here, dude. I'm up. I'm feeling strong. My chi is centered.
Tell me about it.
I'm making moves, doing things right. So that builds some confidence. Ooh, I'm finally changing jobs here pretty soon.
Yeah, you are. Tell me about it.
So that's like, it's got this feeling with as long as I was at my last job, even with just going different locations, it was the same owner, so it was essentially the same job for the whole time, even though I was at different locations.
Right.
But it was basically like having the same job for a decade. There's a little bit of that comfortability aspect of it.
Yeah, like in the doing the same thing over and over. You know what it is.
Even though I complained and whatever about it, there's still like I knew what I was doing, and it's much easier than just going.
You knew what to expect. At least you didn't have to worry about that part of your life changing too drastically.
And yeah, isn't that a weird thing? Even if it's not necessarily enjoyable, just it being something that will keep you there.
Yeah.
As compared to the unknown.
It's a home base. It's something that you can, you know what this is, you're familiar with it. Boom. This is a solid base. You can go out and explore from there.
Yep. So I'm changing it up now. And we'll see how that goes. I start training tomorrow, actually. But I've been getting some offers from some other companies coming in, too. And I don't know whether I should be pursuing those offers further as well. I probably should, depending on where they're located. I kind of want something close to the house for now. I'm trying to reduce costs and just save up some cash, because I plan on buying a house in the next 6 months to the year. That's the goal anyway. So I need to save up some cash with a little, first-time home buyers, government assistance things. Should be able to get something pretty decent. And the thing that switched me over into buying a house was just because...
What were you planning on doing before?
Well, I was planning on renting a place out here in Athens and working out in Athens. And then, so I've been keeping an eye on, like, what's going on with all, like, the COVID as stuff is just as far as like governmentally what's going to happen, policies, and is there going to be another shutdown. But anyway, I just saw a lot of uncertainty. And so what I didn't want to do was come out by myself, get my own place, and take on rent, and then everything get fucked.
Right.
Yeah,
nobody wants that.
So I'm just going to stay where I'm at for now. And then 6 months to a year, I should have a better idea what's going on. But then also at the same time, I've just been looking at how high rent prices are. And for a decent place, I'm a little bit older now. I'm not necessarily looking for like just a spot. I want something nice. And I'm just like, dang, for these prices, I could just pay mortgage on something. If we're talking about like $1,100, $1,000 for a nice 3-4 bedroom house to rent. And that's even on the low end sometimes, or even just like a 2-bedroom apartment, a nice one, $900, $950. So like at that point, I might as well just be putting that much into something that I'm building equity in.
You're right.
I can get a small first-time house, not necessarily something that I plan on retiring from, but I can just go ahead and get a house, build some equity in it, and then sell it in a couple years instead of just renting a place for a couple years. So that's the plan on that. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm looking for a little bit of stability out of the job, just so I would like just a more set schedule.
Yep, that's a big thing. And that makes life so much.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing when you're going to work.
Well, yeah, you can plan so many other things around that, like especially like exercise, working on podcast things, video editing, shit like that. You're working on music.
Anything outside of work.
Yeah, I can sit there and go ahead, and this is what I do every week, so I can establish a workout routine. Obviously, that'll evolve and change over time, but, I can plan out the whole week in advance. This is what I'm going to do this way, this is what I'm going to do this day, this is my free day, my free night I have out to go do whatever.
And you don't have to do it Sunday evening.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ugh, Sunday evening. But, yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But either way, I should be fine. It's a different company on different hours. They open later, so... Well, I'm sure they still probably have people coming pretty early to prep, but...
Yeah, but they also close earlier.
It is still restaurant management.
Right.
But,
so you still have a degree of comfortability.
Yeah, it's in a field that I already know. And one of the things that I was looking at is like another potential shutdown. And it was in a field that I knew that would be still considered an essential worker. So even if it's shut down, maybe hours might get reduced, whatever might happen. But I'll still have a job for a while, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Until things like super, super dry up.
Yeah, it's tough to find stuff right now that isn't in like sales.
Yeah. Amazon's hiring like crazy everywhere.
I believe it. Yeah, because they're also rolling out their own delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they've got Amazon Fulfillment.
Yeah.
Which is like FedEx or UPS.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, fuck it, we're going to do everything.
Oh, yeah.
Every step of the way is just going to be us, and just forget everything else.
People are going to be buying just Amazon.
We can get it for you 30
Amazon
cents
logo
cheaper.
hats and shit. Like, yeah, Amazon is the biggest thing out there.
We can get it to you a day earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We could save you $5 on shipping.
Ooh. Yeah, because that's all you got to do. They've got enough capital already where they can underbuild their services, and put all the competition out and then start raising the prices slightly. Obviously, new people could come in, but at that point, they would have such a lock on the market unless the government actually decided to do its job and, trust bust and break up these large companies, enforce the monopoly laws. I don't see it stopping anytime soon. It's got too much momentum to be stopped without being physically taken apart. And even then, it would just be a bunch of successful smaller companies owned by different people and run by different people. Now those people could run them improperly.
But at least that's different people.
Yeah.
Right. So even that is just it's a degree of something, and
that
being their own subsidiaries or whatever. They would have to increase staffing slightly.
Yeah, and there's so when you own everything, you can take a whole say I want to focus on the delivery aspect. We make so much money in all these other areas, we can take losses here because we already own everything else. But if this little area was by itself, its own company, they wouldn't necessarily be able to take that loss to come up later. There's strategies that wouldn't be available to that company. There's strategies that's only available to them because they own such a large market share in multiple areas. So, and it's crazy. These companies get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you don't want to say don't do it. It's part of the market and competition. But eventually, it does get so point where it blocks out all. There's no competition, which is the reverse. So you do have to have some rules and laws in place. So anyway, I did not mean to get that deep on that. I don't even know how we got on that.
I think it has something to do with alcohol.
Oh, I agree. Anyway.
So what's going on, man? Something about dicks and balls?
Oh, yeah, I was talking about my life, not dicks and balls. My new job and everything. So, yeah. So, new job. changing living situations. And then okay.
That's exciting, man.
So we're caught back up. What's going on over here?
I mean, what's new from the last time? I've been dragging my feet hardcore on making these changes because I thought I was at a point where I was done with this song.
Mm-hmm.
And then I shared it with a buddy. Hey, let me know what you think. And he gave me a lot of really good notes.
Mm-hmm.
And I still had like some things that had to be done, and they're just tedious.
Were they notes that like once pointed out you were like, "Fuck yeah"?
Yeah, because I've listened to the thing hundreds of times at this point. Like some sections of it, thousands probably. You just become kind of blind to those sounds in a
Or
sense.
like numb to it.
Yeah, you don't notice it after a while. So you need some other ears to keep you honest.
Hell yeah!
So I got that, and hopefully I get that finished, and then I'm gonna start getting stuff rock and rolling for other projects.
Okay.
For a little while, and. What's going on, man? Allergies
I'm
getting
fighting a sneeze right now so hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to sneeze on the podcast.
I heard
So,
if you press the tongue to your roof of your mouth, like the same way you get rid of the cold headaches. What do they call those? Freezer chills, head bumps,
Okay.
ice brain.
I think I
What do they call
sneeze successfully. Oh, when you get brain freeze?
Brain freeze. Yeah, that's what it is. God damn.
He said cold brain?
Freezer chills and head bumps.
Freezer chills, head bumps. I was like, I was agreeing with it, not really knowing what the fuck he was talking about. Just like, yeah. I do that a lot sometimes, I find. I'll just be agreeing with somebody on things like that just because I don't care enough to make them repeat it or clarify what the fuck they're talking about. Whatever is going on is not important enough to go that deep, to not ask the other question. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Sometimes I won't even hear them, and I'll just smile and nod. Yeah.
The Jews were
what?
asking
I just
for
told
it.
you somebody died. I'm like, oh, actually, I didn't even hear you. I was just, nodding and smiling. But yeah, allergies. My nose is stuffing up a little bit.
Uh-oh.
But I will survive. And we will get through this. Okay, so what do you got on your list? What's going on?
You want to hit the notes? Let's hit the notes right here. Some stuff I was going to save for the other podcast, but why not just talk about it here? Because this one's actually happening. So
That'll work.
Okay, so you were asking me earlier where I got my tattoos because you were thinking about getting some new tattoos. This place in Mississippi, Gulfport, called Jack and Diane's, I got the first 3 tattoos that I got. And hanging up on the wall in Jack and Diane's, it's probably, I don't know, like an 11 by 9 or something like that, kind of laid out in landscape. This black and white photo framed on the wall to the left of the register there where you pay, so like everybody sees it. It's kind of like in that position in the shop where like, hey, we're proud of this. This is up there. This framed black and white photo of Brett Favre laying on a table getting tattooed by either Jack or Diane, one of the two. They're a married couple that own this tattoo shop, and it's very popular. They even had like their own little mini series. It was like a web series or whatever.
Oh snap! Okay.
This framed black and white photo of Brett Favre laying on a table getting a tattoo with a towel across his back, getting a tramp stamp.
Oh, so that's where I knew I had heard that he had a tramp stamp. I just didn't know where he got it, obviously.
Yeah. So check it out. Gulfport, Mississippi, Jack and Diane's tattoo. You go up to the counter, you look left on the wall there. Maybe they've taken it down. I don't know why they would. Black and white photo. This is like when he got drafted, motherfucker. I don't know why it's black and white, honestly. I'm pretty sure they definitely had color.
Yeah,
photo.
there was definitely color available.
Yeah. Regardless.
Irregardless.
Black and white photo, Brett Favre, tramp stamp.
Ooh.
Hilarious. Laugh at that. That's funny.
That is pretty funny. So, do you have any tattoos that you regret?
No.
No? Like all of them?
Yeah, some I like more than others.
Yeah. I don't regret any of my tattoos.
Stuff like that, but
I regret the way they were done. Some of them.
Yeah.
The way they were done. Cheaply.
I paid a lot of money for mine. Probably too much, some people might say, but...
I paid almost no money for mine. And probably too little, some people might say.
Yeah. I think mine all look pretty decent.
Mine are mostly there. They just need little tweaks, little sharpening ups, little mistakes, but they are the tat. It's not like I'm embarrassed that I got that tattoo. I just embarrassed about how they did it, how cheaply it was sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's all fixable stuff too, so
yeah,
just time and enough high enough on the priority list to actually spend the money and get it done. That's really all it is at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's cosmetic, you know?
Yeah, so it's hard for me to push it up. Like, I know people who are like...
It's a pandemic.
I've had people ask me for gas money one week and then posting on Snapchat the next week their new tattoo. I'm like, wait, where did you get the fucking money for a new tattoo? You didn't even have gas money last week, let alone have your whole life together enough to have extra money for a tattoo. What you were... Tattooing is way too high up the priority list for you, I think. Way too high up.
Yeah, motherfuckers out here being reckless, scamming folks. That's what it is. They didn't need gas money. They needed tattoo money. They just didn't want to tell you what it was.
Maybe. Or they had the money separated for the tattoo, but they didn't have enough for other things. So it really was gas money, but it was just because they didn't want to spend the money that they were going to use for that tattoo that they had to get. That's not going to bring them any money. Who knows? But I would like to get some more, but that's usually the thing. It's just there's always something more that seems more logical to get before I get tattoos. Like beer.
Yeah.
Liquor. Food, a new shirt, pay bills, have gas.
You gotta have your OnlyFans subscriptions.
Yep, not bringing it. We need bringing more money through the podcast here.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be nice, and I have faith that we will get there. I have faith.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe not. No, well, yeah, we're going all the way. We're going to beat Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's the bar.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan's the bar, so that's it. We're grinding until we get it. And that deal he's got is more than $100 million, too.
Oh, for sure.
That's just what they're
I mean, nobody knows really how much it is, but
yeah.
I bet it's good.
I bet it's insane. To make him go off of what he was already making, it had to have been a significant amount larger. And he moved physically? Oh, shit.
Yeah, but he's keeping his place in California.
Is he? What about that? Didn't he say, I saw pictures working on his new podcast studio out there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be doing podcasts from out there.
Yeah, but he's keeping his podcast studio in L.A.
So he'll just fly out there when he's doing like more LA-based people. He could do like
I guess so, yeah.
Well, sometimes it would make more sense.
And he's still going to do spots at the Comedy Store.
Okay. And it makes more sense, like, if you're trying to do, like, 3 people who are based out in L.A., it would make more sense schedule availability-wise to, just already have a spot out there.
Right.
Since there's a high concentration of...
It's harder to get people to come out to Austin, especially during a pandemic.
Yeah. And most people that he's doing stuff, like, with, they're people who are, like maybe that is their book, their book's being released, and he's interested in their book. They're already doing something out in California, in LA specifically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they add that to their list of things.
But that was kind of like his thing. Like, people aren't doing that anymore because LA is fucking crazy.
True. So
like, what's the point of being here and paying all these taxes?
True.
I would love to pay taxes if they went to things that I thought, were good, but
well, and then it's like you pay high taxes for the beaches and stuff.
The taxes even more, and like you can't do any of the shit. So like, why are we? What's the deal here?
Yeah, like the reason you pay more taxes because you have access to the beach.
So I'm gonna go somewhere where I can do those things.
Makes sense, or you still can't do it, but you're getting taxed way less.
True. A little bit of both.
And he's gonna go up there and try to build up a little comedy scene too.
Yeah, which is good. LA needs some competition. New York needs some competition.
Which I've had ideas of doing the same thing, like when I was, or at least thoughts I've thought about, like, do I commute to Atlanta when I was thinking about doing stand up? When that was more of a thing, I was like, do I commute to Atlanta to go to the bigger Atlanta clubs? Or do I find a decent spot out here? Like Athens got a small little comedy scene.
I think you just start somewhere.
Yeah, and then just try to get good in that scene and maybe build up that scene where you're at.
That's going to take, a decade.
Right, because if you're just going to do a solo
to like
act,
be in a spot where you can really do that.
If I'm just going to do a solo act and try to get good by myself, I might as well go to Atlanta where there's already an audience there. The only reason to stay in a spot like Athens would be if I don't think I'm ready to go to the bigger spots, or 2, I wanted to build up this area.
I think regardless, you're gonna have to hit the road.
Oh yeah. You always have to hit the road, but a majority of your work is going to be at your home store. That's where you're going to be developing your jokes that you take on the road at your home spot.
But in the very beginning, it's going to be, those spots are guaranteed. There's going to be open mics. And sometimes you got to pay for those, but like if you want to get spots, you might have to be shuffling around to all the clubs.
Well, yeah, Athens probably has a decent amount of little spots.
They could.
Maybe your type of content might influence what spots you do.
Sure.
If you got a really like a mature show or controversial
if you're
material.
a blue comic, you might not fit in at some spots. Some are family-friendly events and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, and Athens is like definitely, I would say, a stronger, with the college here, you've got a lot more like social justice type. So if you got kind of raunchy comedy or, just comedy that's, off color, it might not be a good spot for you.
You remember that spider in the back?
Yeah.
That motherfucker was so goddamn big. Did we talk about that last time?
We didn't talk about it last night.
Did we talk about it on the last podcast? I don't know if we did.
Because it was afterwards, when we noticed it? Yeah, it was afterwards that we even noticed that spider. And it was a spider. I know we were smoking, but it was so large that I couldn't comprehend how it got that fat in the backyard. Like, you would think it was eating birds or something. Maybe that's but it was huge.
It could be eating birds now. Who knows?
It was one where I looked like, even if its poison was weak, it looked big enough to put enough in me where it still fucked me.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And since I don't know spiders, my logical conclusion is to assume that they're all deadly.
And that they'll explode with some sort of acid or like million babies that are hungry and looking for a meal. Like, yeah, they're the ultimate danger. Right up there with like nuclear holocaust.
And you didn't even kill it, did you?
No, I've never seen it again. I don't know where it's at.
Even at night, you've never seen it again?
Yeah, it's extra dangerous.
That thing
Now
was
I don't even know where the enemy's at.
seriously gangster. And there was another nigga chilling close to him who was pretty big too, as spiders go. He was pretty big too. I remember there being two.
Yeah. There's
a
one.
second one that
It looked
I
like
saw.
a shadow. It
Yeah.
wasn't, but it looked like it.
And it was pretty big too.
Yeah, he's getting there.
And I don't really,
That's Fatty Jr.
I really don't fuck with spiders like that either, man.
Yeah, I've never seen a spider like that. It's had like this big ass abdomen.
Yeah, just the body. Not including the legs. Just the body itself was fucking huge. It was getting like close to tarantula style.
It's fucking gnarly.
And tarantulas don't generally have venom because that's why they're so big. But this nigga was getting juicy. Getting the fucking creeps just thinking about it. Ugh. But yeah, you let it go, so now it's a threat to your entire family.
It's a threat to the whole neighborhood, really. To democracy, to the world at large.
It's a threat to the Republic of China.
Yeah. More so than Winnie the Pooh.
This is the real Wuhan threat.
Oh, I forgot I had a scotch over here.
Yeah, let that scotch get a little watery.
Speaking of watery, let's talk about these motherfuckers in the NBA.
Tell me about it.
Okay. So I can only stomach so much. Let's hit the interweb and look it up as we go here. But a couple days ago, fucking Milwaukee Bucks, whom I'm rooting for, by the way. I like the Bucks. I liked them since Ray Allen.
Ooh. Okay.
You know how long ago that was?
No.
Well, let's fucking start there, my friend. Let me make sure. Let me get this recording here.
Well, I remember I bet somebody in high school, probably my freshman or sophomore year, like $5. And they paid me with 5 Milwaukee Bucks playing cards.
Oh.
And I was pretty upset. And that's how he went. I should have beat his ass.
That's clever as fuck.
But
Who has 5 Milwaukee Bucks cards?
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
Yeah, he got me good. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, it's $5, man. I'm like, well, you're technically right. And this is funny enough, and you had the balls to do it. So I guess this just happened.
Ray Allen played with the Bucks. He was playing college ball in '93. He went to the Bucks in '96. He played for the Supersonics.
Yeah, that's where I originally remember him. Seattle Supersonics. Ray Allen with Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. That was the squad out there, boy.
I thought it was just straight up Bucks to Celtics, and then I didn't even know he went to the Heat.
Dude, he hit like one of the main shots in that series to like.
I probably did know that.
They were about to lose.
I just don't follow basketball.
Matter of fact, we were watching it at your house.
Were we?
We were watching it in Polo Club. I remember it now.
Oh, okay.
And Ray Allen we were watching it at your house. You were trying to save money on electricity, so it was hot as fuck. And it was like game 5 or 6 of the Heat series. I'm pretty sure it was against the Spurs. And it's like, I think it's game 6. They're about to lose, and Ray Allen hits the 3 at the end to win it. Or it's like the go-ahead 3 to win it. And that takes it to game 7, and then the Heat win the whole series. And this nigga didn't even remember him being there. It would happen at your house.
I was probably at work. A lot of shit happened in my house when I wasn't there.
True.
I
want to say you were there, though.
I had a couple buddies who lived at my house, but didn't live at my house, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I was over there quite a bit. Andrew was over there quite a bit as well.
Yeah, those are the two. Those are the two I'm thinking.
So,
we could talk for days just about Polo Club.
oof.
God damn.
Man. We had drunk basketball nights, drunk swimming nights. Remember we swam in the thunderstorm?
Yeah, that, and looking back, that's like, now when I'm outside and like I hear thunder, I'm like, oh shit, the next lightning strike can kill me. Or like I see some lightning, even if I don't hear thunder, I'm like, I'm gonna die.
As I've gotten older, I've gotten more conscious of things and I'm more careful about things. Or I get more anxiety moments than I would have when I was younger because I care more.
And we're
now.
just fucking in the pool playing water volleyball.
A volleyball in the middle of a thunderstorm. It's lightning and thunder.
Raining hard as
how
fuck.
Stupid.
That dude fucking scalped himself.
Oh, that night. So we were. Do you remember who was with us that night?
I don't.
So I remember it was late night, like what, after midnight, swimming at Polo Club. This dude comes down there. He sees us there. There was probably just a couple of us dudes, almost gay.
Yeah, I remember like a few of his friends show up.
Well, I remember he came down there with at least one guy friend, but I remember there was 2 girls.
Okay.
At least 2 girls, at least one guy friend, maybe a third guy friend. But I do remember kind of the onus for him doing the dive. Granted, the pool was at its max, like 4 feet deep.
Yeah, but this was a 3-foot section.
This is a 3-foot section. So it's a 3-foot section, but the onus of him doing the dive in was the girls being there.
Was it? No, it was the 4-foot section because it was the volleyball part. That
Yeah,
was the deepest.
But it still wasn't enough to be just diving in, especially drunk.
It definitely said no diving.
Yeah.
Probably where he dove from.
Yeah, there's I mean, I'm sure people have done it there safely, sober, mostly.
Uh-huh.
But, man. So, but he wants to show off. He sees some other dudes in the pool. He's got the girls there. He's drunk. Not that your diving skills would have made any real sway either way in the opinions of these girls. But you know how dudes are. We get our testosterone boiling. We want to do some feats, like climb a tree. Anyway, I won't digress that far. But, so he just goes, boom, dives, pow, face first, boom. You just see it didn't look like it went smooth, juju, and then he came up. It was like, shh, he hits the water, and there's like a stutter, and then there's like, and he comes back up, and there's blood in the water, and a chunk of his scalp is missing.
This fucking dude. That was so wild.
Just a chunk of his, like, right off the top. Blow! Just gone. And then, so they had literally just walked in. They were there no longer than 5. There's no way they were there for more than 5 minutes. They got there. That was pretty much the first thing he did when he got there. He scalped himself. So they were there for maybe 3 minutes. He jumps in, fucking scalps himself off the bottom of the pool. They're off to the hospital. Instantly. So, oh man, Polo Club. What got us on Polo Club?
We were talking about watching the Bucks game, and
Oh, you were talking about how you didn't know that Ray Allen was with the Heat.
right. Oh yeah, it was the Heat game you're talking about, and so now we got back on the Bucks here. Oh man. So, this gets into the shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and the way that the media frames certain things, and kind of zooms in on the frame to exclude the peripherals. If you were to talk about it like in the perspective of like a picture, right? So not necessarily things that don't matter that are on the outside that are just like they add flavor to a person, but things that color the context of a situation so drastically, so opaquely that, like, without them, it changes the image completely. Okay. So here's an ESPN article from 3 days ago called Inside the Hectic Hours around a historic NBA boycott. This is Ramona Shelburne, Mark J. Spears, Adrian Wojnarowski, or Woj, I think most people just call him. I probably butchered his.
Probably closer than most who just randomly come across it and are attempting to say it.
Malika Andrews and Zach Lowe. So this happened on Wednesday, I believe. On Thursday morning, the NBA players decided to resume the playoffs.
Jeez.
So let's just start with that. So that tells us that at some point, after they had decided to play during a pandemic, during protests of the same nature, pre-existing, the NBA players decided to stop the playoffs. Right? Okay. So that's what we know from that. We heard it in their voices, the pain, the anger, the desperate cry for justice. The video of Jacob Blake, a 29-year-old black father of 6, being shot 7 times by Kenosha, Wisconsin police, hit the NBA and its players in waves this week. Why does it always have to get to the point where we see the guns firing? LeBron James asked Monday night. He just won a playoff game, but couldn't enjoy it.
He couldn't enjoy it.
My emotions are all over the place, he said, as if an apology was necessary. The next night, LA Clippers coach Doc Rivers, who is the son of a police officer, choked back tears and said, "We keep loving this country, and this country does not love us back." Wednesday afternoon, another wave swept through the Milwaukee Bucks locker room before a first-round playoff game against the Orlando Magic. I came into this arena thinking I was going to play, one Bucks player said. I guess he wished to remain anonymous. It doesn't say that, but it just says one Bucks player. Milwaukee's coaches went through pregame media sessions. Brooke Lopez and Eric Bledsoe were among the players who warmed up on the court. But shortly before their Game 5 tip-off set for 4 p.m. Eastern, the Bucks had a change of heart and decided not to play. They intended to sacrifice a playoff game, only to have their opponent, the league and players and teams from sports leagues around the country, join them in solidarity. The Bucks didn't expect to be the thread that caused the NBA to unravel, one player said. Again, I guess we wished to remain anonymous, or they just didn't feel it was important to credit them. But that thread had been fraying for a while. There's a sense of fatigue among many, emotions spilling over from the trauma of watching the shooting on video, listening to the rhetoric of the Republican National Convention, and players feeling like they're being held in captivity in the bubble. Again, during the RNC, I guess not again because we hadn't mentioned it, but during the RNC, they did talk about how police need to be held accountable, and it's not okay for these sort of racial injustices to be happening, and called for the things that many people, I think reasonable.
I didn't hear that part. I know I saw I can't remember her name right off the top of my head, but she was like just insane with the rhetoric.
I'm sure they're definitely.
But a lot of their rhetoric for the...
We know that for a long time.
On the federal level, I won't say all people that are Republicans, but on the federal level, Republicans and the RNC, it's just copy-paste every year. They want to take your freedoms. They want to take your guns away. They hate America. They want communism. That's like, they say that every single time.
Right. Which is definitely hyperbole. But
yeah.
There's a seed of truth. As is probably the message on the left.
Yeah. I say that too, like, because they're making every election seems like there's an existential threat.
I mean, now the Speaker of the House is calling Republicans enemies of the state.
Oof. This kabuki theater is reaching its max.
And now we've had protests from a left-leaning group and a right-leaning group just last night as we're filming this on Sunday, the 30th of August. And a guy is dead.
Damn. And I feel like these politicians, with as much like people are paying attention, they have to do this, or we would then focus on the policies.
Could be a lady. Sorry.
And they know if people started focusing 100% on policies, they wouldn't be in office anymore. So they have to keep us going with like the theater, with the others, and it's an existential threat. And this election is the election that's going to decide the future of America.
Yeah, every one of them.
And every time, not that much changes, except for more rich people getting richer.
That's
Especially in the last 20 years, I would say. That's been basically how it's gone every single time. So, keep getting, but yes. So what did the Bucks themselves do?
So they boycotted Game 5. And then I was listening to a clip from the Flagrant 2 Patreon episode, because I don't pay for it.
Oh, just one of those clips that they had posted?
Right. They do like 17 minutes or whatever. It's pretty generous. But they were talking about how after the Bucks were boycotting, like the Magic wanted to play, and then once the Bucks decided they were going to play, LeBron was like, "Nah, we're not playing." And the Clippers were like, "Fuck you, LeBron, we're playing." And then, so that just turned into a mess. But they're all playing again. But my biggest thing is, and I'm trying to bring up my tweet here, but
Can't find your tweet on Twitter?
no, I got them around here. Hold on. Oh yeah, here we go. On the 26th, when this went down, what was the 26th? I stay pretty on top of things. I'm like in the loop and shit. Yeah, that was Wednesday. So on Wednesday, when this was happening, I said, "Why now, Bucks? Because it's another person? Because people had already been shot by the police. It's what the ongoing protests and all that are about. For some people, for some of the protesters, that's what this is about. Because it happened in your state. So, like, is it important now because it happened in Wisconsin? Like, was it not important enough before? Was it not important enough when, one less person was killed?
It's like now that we're doing the NBA again right now, and there's a limited amount of teams, since this happened in Wisconsin, we get more clout for boycotting now than if we would have boycotted from the beginning.
Yeah, like, old people are looking to us to be a shining beacon of hope during this time. Like, no, we just want to see you put that fucking ball through that hoop.
Yeah,
mostly, like,
not even in that like shut up and dribble type way. Just like,
no, say whatever you want, but like, people are not going to follow the NBA if the NBA is not playing basketball games. If the NBA is just political activism, then people are going to start tuning out. No one cares about athletes who don't do athletics.
Yeah, true. Very
and
true.
That's not to say you're not doing it, but when you boycott the playoffs, that's what you're doing. And motherfuckers, people want to watch the playoffs, which I get from, the boycott of the playoffs. That's a powerful tool because people do want to watch it. So if you take that away, but come on, man, the NBA isn't fucking changing policy in the fucking U.S.
Well,
when they won't even
that's the
talk
thing
about China.
Kind of like the same thing with the national protests. There's no organization to it. There's no clear like goal. So it's just hodgepodge, people doing what they want. Nobody knows, you know what I'm saying? Nobody in the NBA's, they're not all together, whether they're playing or not. Like, everyone's flip-flopping. And so it's just like, what is going on here? It just seems like a lot of people trying to get the virtue signal at its highest signal. But then falling asleep on issues like the China issue, right? You want to make this big deal about like, yo, niggas get disappeared in China. They don't just get shot and killed, and when everyone talks about it, they get disappeared. And yet y'all bow down to them, but then y'all want to act all up in arms and talk about not playing basketball over here. They're putting people in camps. The Uyghurs, they're fucking putting them in like fucking trains and camping them out to get re-educated or reacclimated.
Shaving their heads. They're killing their children in the hospitals. They have a separate birth policy for the Uyghur Muslims in the Uyghur region in China. They're allowed, I think, 2 children. It depends on if they are rural or urban. So in urban centers, they can have 2 children, and they have to have them at least 3 years apart. In the rural areas, they can have 3 children. Same rules, 3 years apart, and if not, they're doing 2nd, 3rd term abortions. Sometimes they're killing infants after birth.
Damn.
And they're doing it at the hospitals. And this is, I should be more responsible and probably have the exact source for this, but it was a Uyghur, or someone who worked in a hospital in the Uyghur region that got out of there and got to a spot where she felt comfortable sharing that information.
Whew. That's deadly for her to even be putting that information out there.
Motherfuckers are scary. In Russia, Evgeny Navalny just got poisoned. And he's, for as long as I've been keeping up with it at all, he's been, like, the main Putin critic. Like, the guy who's been trying to run against him in elections.
Oh, the one who, like, gets put in jail right before elections and shit?
Yeah,
so that way he's in jail when the election happens?
Yep, he got poisoned. I think he's in a coma. We could probably check that out.
Wow.
I don't see much about it. Did you hear the other day here in Georgia that they found a double-wide trailer with 39 missing children? Some who had been missing for several years?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's a lot of people just in a trailer, period. 39 missing children. That is crazy. So, like, what do they know where they were planning on going with them? What was happening? Were they just in the transit process? Just out of curiosity on what was going on when they were found.
I don't know.
Like, were they selling them out of that house? Like,
yeah, it was probably trafficking. Yeah, they said it's especially easy during the pandemic to do that kind of stuff.
Oh, because there's a lot of distancing from, and nobody's, you can wear masks everywhere.
It's easier to hide the children. It's easier to protect your own identity.
Nobody's really getting too much up in anybody's grill looking, investigating things.
Yeah.
That's crazy that people still do that, dude. I don't get it. And I guess it's just one of those things where, like, I wouldn't get it because I would never do that. Like, it takes a certain type of person to do that or figure out a way to justify it in their minds. And so I'll never quite understand it. Because I'm not that type of person, I'm assuming. Because I can't even fathom running a business, selling children. Sounds pretty extreme. I don't think my heart could take it. I can be termed a little heartless, but hurting someone's feelings is different than selling children on the black market. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I was watching a fucking video on Twitter earlier. These cops are trying to get this guy. I don't know. He's probably in a spot where they don't want protesters or whatever, right? And so they're saying, sir. And these protesters who are filming, but you can't see them, they're like, She's a woman. This is a bearded man wearing a dress on a bicycle. She already told you she's a woman, you fucking fascist. They're just like calling this guy, you fucking scumbag.
Like, well,
They're yelling at the cops.
Does being a woman make her immune from laws?
Like, I'm sorry, I got confused. I saw a gentleman in a dress on a bicycle. This is not a gentleman. She already told you earlier today. You got her pronoun wrong.
Jeez.
It's like, how easy is your life for this to be the main concern at a time like this? Or at any time, really. Like, your life must just be fucking cake.
You have nothing going on.
If you're worrying about less than 1% of the world population to this extent.
Use a wrong pronoun. He's a cop. He's just some guy. What do you expect? And you expect out of all these people to remember that person that he saw earlier? It's crazy. I don't know, man. But what I do know is I've got to go to the bathroom, and it's probably a good time for a break.
Yeah, see some lunch, and we'll come back.
That'll work. Good deal.
All right, we're back. Part 2 of the Pelican Jack podcast for today. Joined now by my wife, Kristen. Hi, Kristen. How are you?
Hey there.
Hello. Glad to have you here with us today. I'm going to touch on some topics, get the female point of view. You've also got probably a scientific point of view that on some of the COVID stuff that we don't necessarily have privy to, or like just the knowledge of that area. So
yeah, let's go ahead and hit that up off the rip. Let's just get our COVID update in. I don't have a graphic for that, but I imagine like some sirens, like. Go ahead. What's the skinny on COVID-19? I do have a couple of Governor Kemp tweets lined up for that.
I mean, do you want to know just about in Georgia, in Athens?
Let's start local and head toward global.
Okay. So, I mean, you guys both know I work at the University of Georgia, and we just had the students come back last week. Last week was their first full week back. And already the number of positive cases amongst the student body has doubled. And for the surveillance testing that we're doing, we're just testing asymptomatic people. That number has gone up, I think, tenfold in the last couple weeks.
So when you're testing them just to test them, and they are being positive even though they're not showing symptoms. Is that what you're saying?
Our surveillance testing is supposed to be asymptomatic only, but with COVID, the symptoms are quite mild, so I think you could hide it if you really wanted to. And this is based on like volunteer population, so anyone that wants to get tested, either student, faculty, or staff, can go and get tested. And if the symptoms are mild enough to kind of, hide a little bit, then yeah, you can go get tested. You may suspect that you have it and go get tested, but we do recommend that if you are showing symptoms to go to the health center. But, I think you have to go through your insurance and everything to get tested at the health center, and otherwise, if you just get the surveillance testing, it's free and it's super fast. I did it a couple weeks ago. It was pretty painful process besides the nasal swab. I was
just gonna say, don't they touch your fucking brain with the nasal swab for 3 seconds?
Yeah, I felt that way for sure.
Ugh.
It was not comfortable. I do have a coworker that said that she didn't mind it, but I was like, "What? You don't mind when
She's
someone
always picking
sticks
her
your?" I
boogers.
was like,
And she has skinny fingers.
So that's kind of the current situation in Athens.
And that's probably only, I mean, that's just what you guys are able to track. It's like you could probably exponentially like multiply that to get more accurate towards the real numbers, people who aren't getting tested.
Yeah, and that's a big problem, is that nobody is really getting tested unless they think they might have it.
And then just spreading it.
Yeah. So, and then in like Georgia overall, we've had, I think, about 2,200 cases per day, new cases per day.
Aren't we like top 5 states
Yep,
nationally
top-
right now with
well,
new cases?
Of new cases, we have been consistently at the number 4 spot. I think in total cases, we're at number 5 below New York. Yeah.
But New York isn't really like much on the current new cases list.
No.
They just
But
they had
they
that
had so many.
explosion, at that time, so they're still on the overall number. But I think that all that was just based off the newness of it and the amount of people in that area. Just like it got out of control really quickly. But it seems like they've got it under control now, and they have way more people than Georgia, or at least especially in the city area, New York City.
Yeah, but that's kind of the thing about Georgia. There's only a couple of really populous areas that we have to worry about, people being in contact with each other like all the time. And that's probably why we haven't had such a strong response to it, because there's a lot of rural areas in Georgia.
And I feel like that's where it's getting in rural areas, but nobody's taking any precautions. Like I see people all the time just out and about without masks, going to trying to get into the grocery store, getting turned away at the grocery store. I'm like, what were you thinking? You're going to a grocery store? You weren't going to wear a mask?
Some of the rural schools around here aren't requiring masks or doing temperature checks, any of it.
And they're just putting everybody together. But even before school started, we were already still up there. Just everyone's just out and about doing whatever. No masks on. Don't care. You can't tell me what to do. No, I can't tell you what to do. But it seems like you're a pretty shitty community member if you're looking at your local area, your state, and even you can look at the country. It's just one big community. Yeah. And you basically just saying, I don't give a fuck about anybody else. It just makes you a pretty shitty community member. It's not illegal, You're not going to go to jail for it, but I don't know. You seem pretty shitty for it.
Well, I think there's a really common misconception that the mask is for your protection. It's really for everyone else's protection in the event that you're infected.
And that's what I was saying. Like, you just don't care about anybody else. You're just fine. I don't have it, or I am young, or I have a good immune system, so I'm good. I don't care about anybody else.
Not even just like someone told me to do this, and no, I'm not going to do it.
Well, Trump said you didn't have to wear a mask. It's all you liberal pussies telling people to wear masks.
And here's our governor, Brian Kemp, as conservative as they come. We continue to see progress in the fight against COVID-19. Georgia's percent positive COVID-19 tests has dropped from 12.4% on August 1st to 8.6%. This is from yesterday. Our 7-day average of new cases has dropped 35%. Hospitalizations have dropped 33% since the beginning of the month. To keep Georgia moving in the right direction, we are asking folks to do 4 things for fall. This is Georgia government. Wear a mask, watch your distance, wash your hands, follow and enforce the executive order.
What is the executive order? To wear a mask?
I think that's what he's talking about.
I'm not sure.
I thought like he couldn't mandate that.
Yeah, no, I don't think that he has ever
Didn't
said.
Trump suggest that all the governors mandate it? And all the local, everyone just mandate it at the RNC recently? Or some speech, I feel like,
I don't know if
pretty
he said
sure it was him
but it
who
would make sense to say.
or he didn't demand, but he suggested that, going forward, they all just demand people to wear masks. Because At the end of the day, they definitely don't want to have to shut economy down. They want to keep the money flowing. So they're like getting to that point where like the only way for the money to flow and stay open, we have to like get more people back on the, just regular basic safety precautions at the very least.
There was another tweet. I'm not seeing it right here.
Was it ridiculous? One that he might have deleted?
It was a little bold. It said something to the effect of...
Just to give context.
Just to give context. We're still like the fourth highest in this. We're still boom, 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 like reality check numbers. Like, hey, Georgia's fucking up. He said it's easy to lose fat when you're overweight or something like that.
Yeah, or like it's easy to see progress when you're already fat, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Something like when you're fucking up,
But it sounds like he's basically talking about his
good.
own previous tweet where he was trying to say how good everything, how numbers are down. But then don't forget.
It was in the same thread.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was his third tweet. Like, hey, we're fucking killing it in this, but this, and this are all still true. So, wear the mask and do what you're fucking told, please.
Yeah, but you're saying please. And I think that's an issue.
It's become an issue that
Please isn't enough.
even if the thing that you want to hear is said by somebody they don't want to hear it from, they're still not going to do it. They don't want to hear it anymore. It could be Joe Biden telling everybody to go out and get an AR-15 right now, and the right would be like, nah, fuck ARs, fuck Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's true.
It makes sense. It just seems like Well, actually, I feel like it's our media and the politicians' problem for making wearing masks a politicized issue.
Yeah.
To where there is a certain group of Americans who aren't wearing masks, like in protest to, I guess, just liberal people
To life. They're protesting life.
I don't know exactly what I guess they're protesting not being told what to do in a free society, but you're literally not even hyperbolically, but like you're literally potentially putting other people's lives at risk. It doesn't seem like that's the area where you want to protect your freedoms.
Right.
Stand
it's
up for your
almost like
freedoms.
you kind of got the right idea, but you're going about it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm. Like
it's like there are a lot of things that we've given up, especially since 2001.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our freedoms, where now the government can just listen to us and
all your emails,
go through all of our data without our permission.
Yep.
All sorts of shit like that. To the stuff like curfews being enacted in certain areas, and they're saying that we're only going to do it for this amount of time, and then that it gets extended because of the circumstances. But people don't understand that, especially the ones who are already skeptical of it in the first place.
Yeah.
And all they see is the government said something, we fucked up and trusted them, and now they still have that. Now that's even more power that they have over us.
I think the government would have, at the very beginning, said, all right, we're just going to go ahead and take this seriously. It seems like a potential risk. We're just going to shut everything down except for like food, and that's going to include the transportation and distribution and all the things that, require food. We're going to nationalize the payroll. Nobody quit or fire anybody yet. We're just going to take over payroll. People pay bills. We're going to, put moratoriums on rent and mortgages. And everybody just stay home. You're not going to lose your job. You still got your job. Everybody just stay home. There's still food. You're still going to get a paycheck. Just stay home for a month. Let's see how it goes. And then, boom, after that month, they could be like, all right, we're going to do one more month just to be safe. And then, boom, 2 months, and then we would have been done. But, like, they tried to, like, half-step. They didn't want to shut down at first. It started, and then they tried to, like, half-step it the whole way. and then they had to shut down. But by the time they shut down, it was too late. But then there was already some people who were like already quarantining. So then also it just dragged the whole process out for so long.
A lot of misinformation, a lot of weird shit coming from China, coming from different mayors from different towns and different states,
Yeah.
coming from the president, coming from the CDC, coming from the WHO.
Like apparently hydrochloroquine does work. For a lot of people, it's like if you got it, to take it and get over it quicker or whatnot. But since it's not a cure,
Well,
but it does
okay.
help a lot of people.
Something about that though is you have to take it when symptoms just begin.
Yeah, like it has to.
Once
you
you're
gotta
like
get it
after
early.
a certain point, it's gonna make it way worse. So
Yeah, but the point that I was just trying to get to is just that it became hyper politicized with the president, and then like it was just became people were saying and making it seem like it was crazy to even think that this was a possible. Like
Yeah.
no, it actually is something that does work for a lot of people, but it just got so politicized, and Trump said it worked, so everyone on the other side just had to say no, basically.
Yeah, it really has gotten to the point where it doesn't matter what he says. Not that he often, or even as frequently as sometimes, says things that are, like, good.
There are times where he has the right idea, just poor execution.
That happens. But, like, that doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Because it's him saying it.
Like I would say his trying to trade policy, like he had the right idea. They did have us over leveraged. I mean, we saw in the pandemic with how much of our medical supply and everything was coming from there. They had the power was imbalanced. I just thought his like trade embargo things that he was doing or raising tariffs was just not an
because
intelligent way to go
that
about
just
it.
makes it
was
so
a
that the
barbaric way about
consumers
it.
have to float the bill.
He put the bill on exactly on the people at the bottom end.
Yeah.
So
we
but
just
that
end up paying
idea
more
was
for
right
products.
that the China trade, there was an imbalance there. But it's never going to be an even. But I guess it was too imbalanced heavily one way. But to make it sound like it's ever going to be even 50-50 one way, just because we produce some things and other people produce other things, so it's never going to always be just even, depending on what we need at what times. But like I said, he had the right overall idea. Just his execution was piss poor. There was something else in rhetoric anyway, at least during the campaign, he was, I would say he had the right idea on like the war in the Middle East and pulling out. No, he didn't do any of that in reality. They did some shuffling and made it seem like he was reducing numbers, but it was actually like after he had already increased numbers previously. Then they reduced them and they tried to make it seem like
A lot of that
he
seems
did
pretty
something.
tricky too with the power vacuums, and that we've already fucked up by being there in the first place.
But you can't. If you say that, then that's just like giving an excuse for us to be there permanently forever. Well, we're here now, so now we have to just.
Well, no, not
Stay here
necessarily.
forever.
It's just like one of those things where we can't just be. We definitely can't just be gone tomorrow.
Well, we have to understand that there's a possible reality where we need to get out and things might get crazy over there, or there is not necessarily a happy ending, but we also can't just be here forever expending crazy amounts of money and more importantly, human lives in between.
Right.
Well, you know what I'm saying? So there's got to be a point where we're just like, we just need to go, and then we need to put this to the UN and push it through a more global community than just us by ourselves out here.
Yeah. It sucks either way. It's not a good situation. It should have been avoided to begin with.
But yeah, and I just hate to get stuck in that, well, we're there now, and if we just left now, then it would create this power vacuum when, like, I know in Afghanistan, the Taliban control more of the country now than they did during the height of the war. So we're not winning in any way, shape, or form. So just saying we should still be there, I don't even know what winning is supposed to be looking like at this point. What does winning look like?
You can't win a war on ideas.
What is the
Unless you've
goalpost?
got better ideas.
What is the end zone at this point? I don't even understand what the end zone is.
Because, like, who wants to be the West when the West is on fire?
Yeah.
Like, is that... I don't know. What else we got? Yeah, Bella Thorne.
Oh yeah. So we'll get Kristen's take on. Oh, well, actually, but first, before back to COVID, what is the global outlook like? Are there other continents or countries in particular that have seemed to handle it, got it under control to where it's not a huge issue anymore, or is it looking kind of the way it's looking in America everywhere?
Oh, definitely not looking like America everywhere. It seems like most of the Asian countries have done a really good job because I think mass culture was,
Was
part of their
already kind of
culture
present.
anyway.
Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, most of the modernized Asian countries seem to be doing a good job. Also, Spain and Italy, they went through kind of a hard time, but they cracked down on it, and they seem to be doing fine now. Two countries to look out for, though, Brazil and India.
Two crazy high
Super.
populous centers and a ton of poverty to where people might not even have access to like disposable, or I mean, I guess you can always kind of throw together some sort of cloth mask, but if it's dirty and dusty, it's going to be tough to want to wear it.
Yes.
And isn't like aren't America like in Europe, they don't even want us over there for the most part. They're like, no, don't travel here right now. We got a ban on y'all. Y'all
Even
can't even come
Canada.
here.
Yeah.
They're like, y'all idiots who don't want to wear masks, you can't come here and spread COVID again everywhere.
I don't think we can get even into Canada right now.
Ooh, but there was recently, I just saw backlash because Kylie Jenner was in Paris recently.
Oh, shit.
And people were complaining because, we can't go there, but I guess if you're rich, you can go there.
Well,
yeah.
that's how the
Yeah.
world fucking works.
I'm like, duh.
Go out and make some fucking money.
You think rich people are just staying at home too?
What's the
No,
point of
they're
being
still-
rich if you can't do shit everyone else can't
Hey,
do?
If I own an apartment in Paris, I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Or if I just got money like that to get a private jet to go, see you later. I'm sure there was testing at customs and other things like that they may have had to go through that we don't know about even. But yeah, you got money. Certain doors open that were previously closed. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Nor even, why do you care? Were you planning to go to Paris?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Was Paris on your fucking travel agenda for the next 3 months and you couldn't go and now other people and now you're, or were you never going to go there because you couldn't afford it and now you're mad because somebody else is there? I'm sure there are some people that could have went to Paris that had it on their agenda but couldn't go. But they're probably not the
I
ones
think they
that
still
come
can. It looks like the agreement that we have with Mexico and Canada is that they've limited non-essential travel.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you have to go there for work, or you're moving there, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
or you're going there you're a refugee or something like that, then maybe those things don't apply.
Yeah, but that's Canada, Mexico. We've already got like a lot closer ties, and we
Right.
share a border. But I was pretty sure Europe just like
They,
flat
yeah,
out
there,
had us
I
like
think
banned.
there were,
They're
yeah,
like, keep
definitely
your
travel
dirty,
bans.
non-hand washing American motherfucking asses over there.
Let's see if I can find that.
And it doesn't help when they turn on the news and they just see people not wearing masks because Trump said so. They're like, hell no, y'all stay over there.
This is from 4 hours ago. Forbes. Europe travel ban. U.S. COVID cases still too high. What you must know. Amid fears of re-lockdowns in Europe and roller coasting travel restrictions within the continent, COVID infection rates in the U.S. still rule out immediate hopes of a lifting of the EU travel ban on Americans. So everything inside the EU, that excludes Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, and Great Britain.
Oh yeah, because they Brexited, huh?
Yeah.
Dang, that shit kind of died down because they never really figured out how they were gonna do that transition. Isn't that shit still in limbo technically? Like they had the
Brexit.
vote.
What's happening in Brexitville? What are the top stories? Fresh controversy over Tony Abbott's Brexit trade rule. That's so boring.
Because I remember it wasn't gonna hit actually come into effect for a few years after the vote, and then they were trying to negotiate. There was a hard Brexit or a soft Brexit.
All right, here we go. BBC News, 17 hours ago, Brexit. All you need to know about the UK leaving the EU.
Okay.
Too many
words?
Too many acronyms.
All right.
Too many. UK and EU, that's 3 words, two acronyms. Nope. Have been spending the summer trying to agree what the future relationship will be. Yeah, well, that was a lot easier when you were just the same thing, huh? Why is Brexit still being talked about? That's a good fucking question. That might be the highlight of this article. Even though Brexit happened more than 6 months ago, it's only been 6 months? There's no fucking way.
Because
Remember,
remember,
been voting on that shit for 18 years.
Well, they passed it 2 years ago, or I think 2 years ago, but like I said, it didn't go into effect immediately. It was something that went over time, and there was a negotiation for how it was going to go. But I guess it finally did go through, you said 6 months ago now? Interesting.
This has to be negotiated and signed off by the EU and UK parliaments by the end of the year. That is coming up quick.
Pretty quick.
Immediately after Brexit Day, on the 31st of January, the UK went into a transition period with the EU. This was to give both sides breathing space to agree the new arrangements. So they broke up, and they needed space. So they didn't talk for a while, and they split up their friends.
But there was a transition phase where, like, we're breaking up, but we're not. It was like, we're not breaking up. We're just...
The EU would roll over, and they'd smell the pillow, and it would still smell like the UK. And the UK would stop and look at that one thing that EU showed at that one time, and get a little misty-eyed.
Wow.
Okay.
So during the transition, UK is still following EU rules and trading in the same way as before. So why the fuck did you do it? However, the UK is no longer part of the EU's political institutions, so there are now no British MEPs in the European Parliament. That's another acronym.
MEPs.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I don't even know. They don't explain it. I guess just we're American peasants.
I guess there was some sort of politicians that the EU had to get to represent the EU in all the countries' government, maybe, that were involved.
Maybe.
So those people that were in the parliament that were like EU representatives are gone, I'm assuming.
So this transition period lasts until the end of the year, when the new relationship will begin. Deadline for extending that has now passed. So it's locked in. It's
done.
happening at the end
It's
of the
over.
year. What if there is no trade deal by that time? Well,
Everyone dies.
when that ends, the UK will automatically drop out of the EU's main trading arrangements, the Single Market and Customs Union. The Single Market means that countries share the same rules on product standards and access to services, whereas the Customs Union is an agreement between EU countries not to change taxes on each other's goods. I mean, that all kind of makes sense. You're technically different countries, but you're operating like the United States.
Yeah, as far as they're basically operating like states under one united country banner, almost.
Right. Which we didn't like when it was the USSR, because it was communism. But
There was a lot less
And
freedom.
they were
involved
just
in that
gobbling
system.
things up and just kind of taking them.
Yeah.
without
It wasn't like
permission.
there were states. They didn't become the Baltic states till they broke. Didn't they have to break away to become the Baltic states?
Yeah, or they may have been before.
They were before. Then they came together to the USSR, and then they broke off
Yeah.
once the communism collapsed.
Something like that.
And now they become the Baltic states, the home of really scrawny white girls.
So if they don't reach the deal, then tariffs and full border checks would be applied to UK goods traveling to the EU. Tariffs would make the UK goods more expensive and harder to sell in the EU, while full border checks would cause long delays at the ports. So the UK may have just fucked itself.
Compared to all the other countries that are still involved with the EU, that can easily trade goods, sell goods, buy goods.
And a lot of people, like they move between countries for work.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying that that's going to affect their service industry pretty greatly when they can no longer freely travel between the borders.
Because there's tons of people who go to Europe to travel to multiple countries, and there's services that function in between the countries that would take care of those type of people, like Americans, or just if you're from, and you're traveling to multiple places, you might go through just one company. But now that'll be a lot more difficult if the UK is in your stop, which it is. I'm pretty sure most Americans who go to Europe want to swing by England at some point.
Yeah. We'll see where it all started, See what it was about over here.
Want to see the original whites.
Does it smell like fish?
I mean, we speak English. You want to know where English came from? It'd be cool,
Yep, so that's what's going on with that. Boring! What else we got? How's Mary Kay? How's that going? You want to talk about Mary Kay?
No, I don't really want to talk about Mary Kay.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about Mary Kay. Did we talk about the vent dryer? The dryer vent saga on the last podcast?
I don't think so.
So we've been fucking around with our dryer vent for the last couple months.
Mm-hmm.
It's been real hot and humid in our little laundry room that's in between our kitchen area, hallway, and the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it's a little port of entry into the house. And been cleaning out the lint trap. Lint's been getting caught in there. It's been leaking. Right, the condensation's building up. The humidity is so fucking high. There's a block somewhere, and we thought it was in the line between the dryer and the wall. So on the wall, well, here's a couple things that you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Dryer vent hoses are circular. They're 4 inches in diameter, and this is pretty standard. There's one kind.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 4-inch aluminum kind of crinkly deal.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right.
But yeah, probably for some podcast listeners, they wouldn't know.
Right.
Or might not know.
But for whatever reason on our wall, there's like a little alcove, and it's, I don't know, maybe 14 inches in height, and it goes back 3 or 4 inches maybe into the wall. And from the top comes down the exhaust pipe. It goes straight up to the roof, which I now know. I didn't know that before, like last week or the week before.
Yeah, I think it was last weekend.
Yeah. It is an oval.
Not a circle?
Not
It's
a
not
circle.
a circle.
It's hard to make circles ovals in practicality, in reality.
Yeah, and I will preface it by saying that it was working fine for the first, year and a half that we have been here.
Yeah. Which is an obvious red flag in hindsight.
It was working fine, and we thought maybe it's because we just basically made sort of a duct tape tube between the circle part and the oval part, and it was working fine. We thought, maybe it's the duct tape.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to find a special adapter for round to oval? So we did that. We found actually a couple different adapters. The first one that we tried was not good because you could barely get the circle hose onto it and then get a clamp on it or tape around it.
Yeah.
It really was.
It was a 90-degree elbow, so the oval part attached well. But the elbow came, and then it had the 4-inch opening for the pipe to fit on, but then it had this lip that went all the way around it for whatever reason, and
Yeah,
it was only
maybe you would be able to screw that into the wall.
it was
supposedly.
maybe it was 3/4 to maybe half of an inch deep, so really not enough to get your warm drive clamp around. It didn't make a whole lot of fucking sense. It was really hard to use, and it didn't work. But also, that wasn't our issue.
That was not the issue. We thought these were the things that were the issue. We tried cleaning
so
the lint
every
out.
time we try something, we're fucking cleaning things out. I'm fucking, shoulder deep inside of our dryer.
Yeah.
Cleaning out lint. And,
So finally, one day, I just, called my dad. And it was like, hey, we tried all of these things. All the things that you might think of. And he was like, well, maybe go find where it vents out of the house. Go find that vent on your house.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a bird built a nest in it or something, or like the flaps can't open for whatever reason. You should check that out.
Which I suspected, but I had no idea where the exhaust vent was. In fact, I thought it was on the side of the house.
I know
we
a lot of
thought
times they're
it
on the
was.
side of the house, like they'll position it in a place, usually not like in a place where it goes like straight to the outside, like is the other side of the wall from it.
This is on the roof.
Yeah, which we found out last week.
Yeah. So we went to investigate the side of the house, and I determined that there's no way that was the dryer exhaust vent. Because there were two of them, and they didn't look like exhaust vents like that. So I went out, and I looked on the roof of the house, where her dad had suggested, I believe, that it may be.
No, I don't think, actually, he was like, no, it's almost not,
okay.
definitely not going to be on the roof.
Well, then I went into the laundry room, and I looked at the wall and saw that the pipe went straight up. And thought, okay, well, if this goes straight up, where would it go? So I went out and looked, and I saw something that looked like it was covered in fucking gunk
Yeah.
on our roof.
There's like so much dust and hail. It just looked really dirty.
Oof.
We're like, that might be the culprit here.
Yeah, so I go get the ladder to get up on this roof. And I don't want to get on the roof. The roof is, I don't know,
Hot.
10 feet high.
Yeah, I mean, you're not a fan of heights.
The pitch is a little steeper than I enjoy. I didn't think I was going to be able to get on the roof and stay there. I thought I was going to fall to my death or serious injury.
No, but I did tell him, like, those people that do this for a living, they're on the roof all the time. Someone was on this roof to put those shingles on, so it's definitely possible.
Yeah, but what if it's like a genetic thing with Mexicans that keeps them
Baby.
on the roofs?
No.
We're glued to the shingle.
Wow. Y'all.
Maybe they had, like, the angle of their feet is such that they can just stand up straight. I don't know.
Anyway.
No,
So
But I was
on the
fine on the
roof.
roof. After a while, I got more comfortable, and then I was taking pictures and shit. But I was like Mission Impossible crawling
At
up
first.
the roof. Yeah. Like, oh fuck! If I don't want to let gravity get into this situation. But yeah, so I get up there and clean it all out. It's a flap, right? So when the hot air comes up, the air opens up this flap, and then it just goes out. It's a 90-degree bend. It was so caked up with lint and dog hair.
Mostly Pippin's hair.
Yeah. It was so caked up that the flap couldn't open anymore. So all that hot air and
Was
lint
just staying
was just
trapped,
being trapped.
coming back
and,
out.
Yeah, that's boom.
That was the big issue.
Condenses and then is leaking all over.
So
our
you just
dryer
needed
floor,
to
or our laundry
clean the vent
floor.
up top.
Yeah, but we had no idea. I've never had that issue before.
This has been an issue for months. Like we're doing, we're drying loads 3 times, shit like that.
Yeah, there's a time investment involved.
There was like a week where we just didn't do laundry.
Yeah, I tried to do a bunch of laundry one of the days that we had tried a new adapter, and we're like, it's gonna fix all of our problems. We did 3 loads of laundry, and like the last load of laundry, I think it was midnight or 1 o'clock by the time. I was
Dang.
like, nope, not gonna do it. I'm just gonna hang all this clothes up because I cannot deal with it.
What happened there?
Is that low battery or?
Okay. What happened?
We're back. We had a little technical difficulty. We're back in business. I don't remember what exactly we were talking
We were
about.
talking about Brexit at some point.
Yeah, but I think
Oh
we're
no,
in the
it
middle.
was the dryer lint.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So we cleaned out the flap and now it works again. It's good as new.
So now is that something you're just going to go ahead and check? Like,
Yeah, it needs to be done annually.
yeah, just go ahead and. Do you have like a list, Dang? Because I'm trying to start thinking.
I don't have to worry about the gutters anymore because we don't have trees anywhere near the house. That
nice.
is lovely.
That is nice.
Because not having to mow all the leaves and not having to get the leaves out of the gutter is fantastic.
But I'm trying to think of like things that I could do, like have a list of things that I do annually, because I'm not going to remember.
There's definitely things that I need to do, but I just kind of take those as they come. Like right now, I got to fix my mower because it's broken, so my lawn just didn't get mowed for a couple weeks.
Oh, but like something like changing the filters on your AC vents.
Yeah, I just
something
have
like that is way better to just be on it and then
She's
Yeah, I have a
got those
reminder
kind of
in
things.
my phone.
Oh,
Like
you
every
do?
3 months, it just tells me, go check it, go change it.
Okay, yeah, but just stuff like that. It's way better to just check it periodically and change it out than to wait for something negative to happen.
Like yesterday, I just sprayed for bugs. We do our own pest control, so we
It's
we
like
do that every
way
3 months or
cheaper.
something like that.
Yeah, every 3 months, and it's like super
Quarterly?
cheap compared to like paying someone to do it.
That makes sense. And once you get the chemical solution, it's just spraying it.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
lasts so long.
Yeah, because you only need like a tablespoon of the concentrate in like a liter or something like that. So it just, I don't know. We've been using it for like a year and a half now.
Yeah, I didn't mix shit.
Yeah, just water and whatever the concentrate
It was
is.
just already in there. I just
it's
grabbed it and pumped it and went.
Oh yeah,
And there's
because once
still
you made
some
it the
in
one
there.
time, you had enough for multiple uses.
It's just still kicking
Okay, yeah.
around the whole
What's
house.
up? So I might need to think about something like that as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, and I have this kind of dichotomy with my father, who is the kind of guy who would just rather work hard, make money, and pay somebody to do things. Like when I came
My
around,
dad's similar as well.
he would have me set his Timex watch for him. It's like he just wasn't the kind of guy who was going to take the time to figure things out. He would rather pay somebody to do it. With my grandpa, who I mostly grew up around, where he fucking fixed everything. Like he worked in construction. He had an electronics store. He fixed TVs. He could fucking do plumbing. He could wire houses. He could, he built his own shed and gazebo. And he just does everything, right? He's just one of those kind of guys who just fucking knows shit.
Yeah,
And,
he's like really built up a lifetime of knowledge.
Yeah,
Working knowledge.
He worked for GM for like 30 years. Like I don't. The things that he's like Steven Seagal, where like he's been doing things for so many years, where it sounds like he's not old enough to have been doing all those things for that long.
Like, wait, you doing this for 30, this for 20, this
I've
for...
been doing Aikido for 87 years.
But you're only 73 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like my dad is the same way. He was always, like the handyman of the house and would always be fixing things. And I think that's sort of why we both have the same mentality and we kind of do things that way before to do things ourselves rather than paying someone.
Yeah, we do our own oil changes. I fix the mower for the most part, except for there's one time where it was like they just made the engine wrong and it exploded. And
Damn.
Yeah, and we like switched some of the light switches and things in the house, which, we don't really know much about electronics, but...
yeah, I had to change out a ballast at the last house for a
Oh,
light
yeah,
fixture.
the toilet kit or something with the
Yeah,
toilet we had to figure out how to
fix a
change.
toilet.
A lot of those things I've learned at Sonic.
Yeah.
How to like change out the things. Ballast, I learned how to do at Sonic. So some of those things I have picked up, but I grew up more of the opposite, I guess, than you guys. It was, I guess up in Ohio, my stepdad would do some things. He had a shed, but I don't really remember him like fixing things. The shed was just the storage for the weed eater, the mower, the ATV, shit like that. But I don't remember him just like, oh, this is broke, let me rewire it or something like that. I don't ever remember them. My mom might have changed the lights fixer, but my dad, especially for sure, he don't do shit. He would just pay someone to cut the grass if it wasn't so expensive. He's just not that. He's like he the same mentality as your dad. That's what when you said that it clicked for me like that. I work hard enough to pay somebody to do it kind of mentality. Yeah. I work hard. This is my weekend, so I'm not going to spend it. I'm going to just pay somebody else to do it so I can enjoy my time or whatever.
I'm more like, I work hard so that I can afford to pay somebody to do it. It's like I work hard doing it so that I can afford to pay somebody to do it. But I'm not going to pay somebody to do it. I can afford other shit that I would rather have. Like, I'm okay with fucking doing grunt work if it means that I can have this other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, do you want to have your weekends every single weekend, or do you want to have that nice vacation where you go to Cabo that you can go into and have a little money to spend because you didn't pay somebody else to do a bunch of like really cheap and easy work you could have done yourself. You just don't want to spend the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know me.
and it's not like you're fixing something every weekend. You know,
I'm wasting a fuck ton of time every weekend.
If I look at it every day, I just be like, dude, there's so many. If I really just like say I didn't do any entertainment and I grinded only, I could do so much in one day. It's insane. I could go to work and still come home and do that. I can have so much done if I really focused.
Yeah.
We get like spoiled, like, well, we deserve this much time to watch, Disney Plus and this much, what I'm saying? Like, I went to work today, so I did enough. I'm done. Mental trap. Those are all just mental traps. They're not based on any real reality. There's no like, you went to work, so you've accomplished, what I'm saying? That's all just something you've placed in your own mind because watching things is more fun. So, interesting. What else we got here? How long we've been going about a good hour and a half this time?
Oh yeah,
Hour
for
40.
sure. Yeah. Someone left me a voicemail. That never happens. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Turns out he had colon cancer. No one knew. Reminds me of Freddie Mercury.
Oh, kind of, yeah. He
The
kept
day
it under
before
wraps.
he died, he announced that he had AIDS and he was gone.
And it's probably because he knew he was going to pass.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, some people are just like, that's not what it's about, man. Just let them enjoy that I'm here. They're going to be sad when I'm gone either way, so let's not give them 2 weeks of sadness while I'm still alive.
Yeah, or Chadwick Boseman, like us worried about him the whole. He wanted to live those 4 years. He didn't want people to like, oh, he's got cancer. Let's treat him differently.
Yeah, but I mean, the other thing is, I read like an article today, and people were supposedly bullying him and like shaming him for losing weight and looking skinny, and like
So
no
he was
one knew
taking-
that he was sick. So people just thought that he had just lost a lot of weight and now looks like a skinny chicken. But, he's going through chemo and, he's really sick. So if people had known, maybe they would have been way more understanding.
I would say probably more times than not, they're probably looking at that as a potential drug issue, and they would be right more times than not with the weight thing. It was just happened to be one of those times where actually this time it was like there was a real reason why.
Yeah,
he
but
was
it's like,
dropping the
it goes to
weight.
show you don't really know what's going on in someone's life unless, I mean, especially as celebrities, you only know what they share with you.
Yeah, exactly. And nobody's going to share like the normal boring moments or the bad moments in their life. So if you're looking at, man, I wish I had their life, they're only showing you the best parts of their life. Nobody's going to show like, the dirty parts of their life on social media. And that's celebrity or just regular person that that you work with. That's how people do.
See, now I'm seeing this reported a couple different ways, right? I'm seeing fans express concern for Chadwick Boseman for his weight loss, and then I'm seeing his fans shame weight loss critics after his death. So,
There's some post people.
is it the same thing being called two different things?
Well, it sounds
It
like
could be-
one
it
is
could
a
be two
critique
different-
before he
This
died.
particular one is from popculture.com, which is not a site I've heard of before, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
And I'm sure while he was still alive, there was some people who were just concerned about his weight. And then there was other people who were like, oh, he's on drugs. He's doing this. That's why he's losing all this weight. So I'm sure there was a myriad of opinions that had to deal with his weight going on beforehand.
I think like these articles are like, don't you feel like such a piece of shit?
But now they're like, you were
you
fucking
shamed
trying
him.
to
A lot
say
of-
something about his weight, so now you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Tweets criticizing it, but I still haven't seen anything that confirms what those criticisms are of. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're saying that people are bullying him about his weight, but I haven't seen.
They don't
that.
show any posts of the
I've
bullying.
only seen the complaints about the bullying. What the fuck is happening? It's like it comes with a new page every time you scroll a little bit.
That's another thing. It's hard to get this information
It's like they're getting
because
clicks that way.
the sites that have this type of stuff, they're like covered in like little exitable ads and
Yeah.
like just trying to trap you. And you just want, I literally Googled this specific information. This is all I want. I don't want to buy any other products.
Yeah, I just want one sentence that tells me what I'm asking.
I don't want the viruses. I just want to know what happened with Chadwick Boseman. That's all I want to know.
Here's from The Sun, notorious paparazzi tabloid. Chadwick Boseman was spotted looking glum as he ran errands on Wednesday after concerning fans with his dramatic weight loss. This is April 30th.
Of this year?
April 30th. Yeah, of this year. The Black Panther star 42 displayed a slimmer frame while picking up an Apple TV at Best Buy with his rumored fiancée, Taylor Simone Ledward.
Rumored.
Wait, did he get...
He does look slim, but he's also wearing baggy clothes. He's wearing baggy clothes. This is a non-story.
A bunch of people, doesn't that seem like kind of the crux of all of our like kind of complaints with like that, like go with cancel culture? It just seems like a bunch of people worried about shit that has nothing to do with them because they're not fulfilled in any way, shape, or forms in their own lives.
It's all non-stories, man. So, fuck, dude.
Like Kylie Jenner being in the WAP video.
The whole WAP everything.
And what the fuck? Why is culture vulture even a thing? That doesn't even make
What
sense.
is that?
Wait, what?
I've never heard of it.
Like white girls on Instagram with like long nails, tan skin. They're trying to steal from black culture. They'll call them culture vultures because they'll say they're trying to look like black girls. Or maybe white girl with braids is a culture vulture. Or like with Bella Thorne on the OnlyFans, she was like stealing this sex worker. She was a culture vulture to their thing. And it just seems like they've made up.
So it's just if somebody who isn't the right color does something.
Basically. Now, there was tons of cameos in the WAP video. And they could have had other black women in the video. But my point is, who cares? It's a video about wet-ass pussy.
Yeah, I was going to say, are
Why
black
does it
women
matter
the
who's in
only
the
ones
video?
who have vaginal excretions?
Why does it matter? And there was tons of other cameos. Why does anybody care that she was in it? Or she's a culture vulture? She's a billionaire. She's a
Who are they
popular
mad at?
figure. Wouldn't that... She's a popular celebrity, female figure. Why wouldn't she be in the video?
Who?
Kylie Jenner.
Oh, and why are they mad?
Because
She's
they
not mad.
put her in the video.
She's Armenian.
To them, she's white and she's a culture vulture by
Well,
just... And it's like...
Who's the racist? then?
Don't you think that they called her to be in the video too?
Yeah.
It's not like she was like, "Hey, I heard you got a new song that I've never heard of. Can I be in the music video for it?" They
Yeah.
probably called her, "Hey, we're doing a video out in LA. You want to come and get a cameo in it?" And she was like, "Sure, no problem."
Yeah.
And then just hate and vitriol. Why did you put? She's a culture vulture. Blah blah blah. I'm like, wait.
They're just fucking making up words.
Isn't that the whole point of a melting pot country? Like bringing in other cultures so you can absorb and take in other cultures to like enrich in your own life? But when white people do it, they're culture vultures, especially if they make money doing it. I guess that's the main thing. They don't want you to make money off of their culture, but I thought we were all just living together and absorbing, and I don't know. It just seems crazy. But yeah, culture vulture. It's like the evolution of cultural appropriation. They just found a way to get more people for it. They changed up the verbiage, made it a more vague thing so they can just pin it on anybody.
It's crazy, man.
So, but yeah.
Let's go ahead and wrap it up.
let's. That was a
Been
good
going on
episode.
for a minute. Yeah, that was a good one.
Glad to have our special guest involved with us again.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
Give us some extra knowledge because I didn't know all those details like about the COVID stuff for sure.
Yeah, I've been keeping pretty close eye on this whole situation. So
For sure. I mean, I was probably maybe keeping a little bit more in the beginning, but now I just don't know any of this like statistics. And I did see an article recently. I know we're trying to wrap it up, but I did see an article recently of a confirmed like reinfection case.
Oh, I saw that too. I didn't read it either.
So it could be just where they end up burying the lead in the article, which seems they do that a lot these days. But I did see a headline. I guess I'm part of the problem by bringing up a headline that I didn't look into. Anyway,
Yeah.
So be scared. We'll see you next time.
All right, Pelican Jack signing out.
Yeah, catch us on social media at Old Devereaux, at Del Negro 71.
All these links will be in the video description below.
Yeah, we'll get you in there. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Kristen, you got anything you want to add?
No, that's it.
Okay. See you next time, guys. Thanks.
Peace.